My name is Lisa Carlin, and I teach 6th grade in a self-contained classroom at Branson Elementary School. This is my 6th year teaching, and my students deal a lot with technology. We've got a lot of technology in our classroom, and so that's one of the focuses of our room every year. My learning activity is a daily ongoing news broadcast that my 6th graders produce. It airs to their entire building, which is 3rd through 6th grade in this particular building. And they work on that every day. They broadcast every morning at the beginning of the morning. That's how school begins, is with their broadcast. And the students are completely responsible for that. Other students from other classrooms help out by contributing special features and things like that, but my students are the ones that are responsible for organizing it and filming it and putting it together and all that, the process that goes along with it. Educating students with technology, that is their future. They have to have these skills in order to succeed no matter what career they choose. If they go on to college or if they just go straight into the workforce, they're going to need to know technology. And so becoming comfortable with it at this age level, I think, helps them. They have no fear of tackling new challenges in technology. So I think that giving them the experience now will help them. There's no way that can't help them later on. This is something that's done in addition to their classroom studies. I mean, they do science and social studies and health every day, but this is something in addition. They don't receive grades for that. So the measurable goals and objectives are not as concrete and it's not as formal as they would be if this were a science lesson or a social studies lesson. So my main goal and objective for them is to become better at communication through this project, communicating with their peers and communicating with other people in all forms, whether it be written form or oral form, or even displaying their thoughts in some sort of creative way, because they have to do all kinds of different graphics and things like that. So being able to communicate their thoughts well with others. Teamwork is another goal that I have for this process, because they all have to work together and they have to find ways to come together as a group to accomplish a task. So that's one of my big goals. And then lastly, it is educating them in as many different forms of technology as I can, and helping them to build confidence in their abilities and what they can do. I think some of the greatest experiences I've had is seeing the students take the role of leadership. Last year, I believe, we had students that were going to interview the counselor. And I don't even remember what the topic was that they were going to be interviewing her about. I just remember she came to me later and talked about how much fun she had doing the interview, because these are 6th grade students and they take expensive equipment out of the classroom, and I don't get to go with them because I have a classroom of kids here, so I may send them off and say things like, okay, be back in 30 minutes. And that takes a little getting used to. I mean, you know where they're going to be and you know what's going on, but you know, you have to give up the responsibility and let them take that equipment. And they went down to her office and set up the equipment, and they kind of prepped her on what they were going to be asking her. And she said it was just so much fun because they were interacting with her on a professional level. They were the ones in charge, telling her, you need to sit here, and the lighting is going to be better if you do this, and you need to turn this way. So they were getting to set it all up for her. I think one of the main areas that I look at is communication. They are learning all types of communication skills, not just becoming comfortable with standing up and communicating in front of others, but also learning how to speak their opinions and their ideas well. Sometimes at elementary age, they know what they want to say, but they don't always get it across really well because they don't explain all aspects. But these kids evaluate themselves every morning when they see themselves on the newscast, and if they didn't get the point across well, it comes across to them really, really clearly. So they're learning how to see the whole picture and how to communicate to others, and you know, that again, that's one of the most important skills they could learn, because if you can't communicate your ideas, you know, you're going to be really lost. So that would probably be my largest area. Also on the model, it talked about individual responsibility and involvement with others, and kind of touched on that earlier. They have to work together as a team to ever accomplish this, and they have to learn how to get along and respect one another's opinions. And we talk about at the beginning of the year, everyone has different strengths and weaknesses. In many instances, they were reenacting in one sense. However, they do this every week, so the process that you saw today was actually what they were doing to prepare for the next week's broadcast. In some instances, they had to, in some ways, illustrate to a greater degree than they normally would what was going on, so they did a little bit of reenactment for you. But the process that you saw is what they do every week, and the information that they recorded today and put forth today will be used.